I am never wearing anything flamboyant again after how I bombed Friday.
Why would you let one bad audience change the way you want to live your own life?
I don't. It just taught me I don't want to bomb again dressed up like a baked potato.
Felt stupid?
No, I didn't feel stupid. I just felt like I wish I was wearing different clothes.
What did you feel in your outfit while bombing?
Sweat. That was eventually going to turn into tears. It wasn't good. It was rough. It was like
So you're back to this on stage?
Yeah, it's my Torey Cole collection.
Yeah, we're
dressed like I got hit by a
matching.
truck. Yeah. You look a little more lesbian than I do today.
Yeah.
I like this. The hoodie is a good look on you.
I love this hoodie.
Where'd you get these pants?
I got them from a place called Up West.
Up West.
Up
Northwest.
yours.
Up yours. Hey, oh,
Hey.
what size are you? Hey.
Size 8.
You don't need a bigger pant. You
I'm
need a
an
smaller
8,
ass.
And I'm going to just say it.
What?
I don't know.
Oh.
8's kind of average.
8?
Yeah.
And what, the pant size?
Yeah. 8 in the pants.
Did I? If you're, well, it depends. 8 in the pants for a guy, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say it's the distance between your finger and your thumb and your finger. 8 length or 8 width. Either way, you're in it for a good time.
8 width would be the end of anybody.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's
You think
not
Shaq's wife
okay.
goes through?
Oh, God.
It's like putting an iPhone 4 charger into an iPhone now.
That's funny.
It's just going to hurt.
Well, he does have kids, so it
It's got
works.
a lot. Yeah, and
unless
she
they,
has a limp.
Tried another method.
They did. In virtual Shaqization. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to come into a turkey baster. And I'm going to put it inside
That's the way
Mrs.
that
Shaq.
people do it.
My great aunt did the payroll for the Lakers from like the
No
90s
way.
to for a while. She knew Kobe, like
That's
when he had
cool.
to have his parents come and get the check. She knew Shaq. She was in Shaq's wedding. My uncle has a picture of Magic Johnson.
Your
Well, he did, but he
family's
died.
Oddly connected to stars.
Yeah, weird enough.
Yeah, like The Rock.
I was destined to become one.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that. No, it's weird. Like there's just they were close to it in a weird way. Like my grandfather drove Bill Cosby.
Right.
Cosby
That's
didn't tip
crazy.
him.
No
and
way.
didn't
Ever?
tip him, and he was like, he asked Bill Cosby if my grandmother, if he could get an autograph for my grandmother, and Bill Cosby was like, yes, I'll be back 1 second, and then just left my grandfather in the limo. So it's always been fuck Bill Cosby, even before the rape, and the rape just exacerbated it.
How long was he his driver for?
Just a show.
Oh,
One show
okay.
night, yeah.
Got it,
He was a limo driver, and then he drove him to the
'Cause I feel
House
like
Theater in Waterbury.
celebrities have very close relationships to their drivers.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I do. You're a great driver. You drive me on the road.
I'm not your driver.
If I'm in the passenger seat and I'm paying for all of the expenses,
Fine.
what does that make you? My
Your
buddy old
driver.
pal. You're not my pet. You're my driver, my opener, my
You cracked
cheese,
me
my
up
right
when you
hand,
said
my
you missed your
go-to.
pets on the road this past weekend.
I said that as a joke. Don't make
And
me
it was
sound
funny.
like I
It
run a
was
cult.
funny.
I feel like when I do meet and greets,
It was
I'm a cult
funny.
leader.
Who took the photos for the meet and greets? Did they do a good job?
Security at the club, yeah.
Security actually is pretty good usually.
Yeah, it was good. Indianapolis was fun. 5 shows, 4 of them were really good. The first one sucked.
There's got to be a bad egg in there somewhere. It makes you like the other ones.
Yeah, well, I needed to be humbled. Now I feel like I have nothing.
No more
Now every time I'm
constants.
writing down a joke, I'm like, you have no talent, you fucking hack. Which is good.
That's
Now I'm
good.
back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
square
yeah.
one. For so long, I was so burnt out, but now it's like I just watch my parents get killed in front of me. You know, I have a vengeance again. I have a North Star. I know where I'm
get
gonna
it.
go.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's nice to be humbled.
Yeah.
I'm on the same level as everyone else, except maybe 2 or 3 people.
Who? Wanna
I don't know.
name
They're
them?
beneath me. No, they don't even know.
Well, should we
Smile
tell
and
the
shake their
people-
hand with one
We
hand
did
and hold a
record
rock
for
with
you
the other.
guys last week, but
Yes, but it
apparently
was bad.
not interesting.
Yeah,
Which I'm internalizing as my fault
good.
because I'm the woman
It wasn't.
in the mixture.
Why did you just do that to
That's a
yourself?
joke. It was
This is why you guys haven't been president
hee-hee.
yet.
Woohoo.
You just let it all get in.
I did say on stage, I said, someone once told me that men hate women and women hate women, and they all laughed. And I said, you laughing at that makes that real. And they were like, and then I said, clap if you think that's true. And like, they all clapped.
Who told you that one, Cole?
Someone very smart.
I broke the mold on that one. I learned
think
that.
it's funny. It's a funny concept, honestly. I don't
What,
think it's
women
fully
hating
true.
women?
I love
It's
women.
a generalization, and I said
I
it
know,
from
but
a.
it's
I learned
funny.
that in the karate school
It's
growing
funny.
up. Thank you. But like my dad would always say that when he would be coaching like a daughter or a mother, and he would be like, in nature, the males fight. And they're stupid, like they butt head. Like two lions will go at it, 2
Right.
tigers, 2 male
Rams.
crocodiles.
They
Rams
actually
do
really
that
do
shit.
that. That's
Rams charge up, hit their head, and go, all right, same time tomorrow, brother. They just do that for hours.
Yeah.
Women in nature, the females are more calculating. Like lionesses do the hunting because they want to go out. They're smart. They want to hunt. Men want to fight. And you can't have two alpha females the same way you can't have two alpha males. But I feel like women don't claw at each other the same way two guys would. Like two guys, you get to a point where like the contention and the argument is bubbled over, and the only way to solve it is like, you want to take this outside, bro? Women will be like, I will make you stick that finger down your fucking throat. You'll always have cankles. Because that stays more longer. You say that to a guy and it won't last long. You insult a dude and it won't matter to him unless it came from his father. But any insult you say to a guy's like, oh, whatever. Hi, SpongeBob.
Do you have any insults that have stuck with you that play over and over in your mind? I have a few. I think everyone has things that they carry.
Sure, yeah. Bunch. I was really insecure about my voice when I was a kid.
What's one that comes to mind that like sits on your shoulder and just is always there, kind of?
It mostly comes from me.
Okay, that's actually, I mean.
People's words don't really stick with me. So, sometimes it'll like play back in your head when you're in the shower and you think of a great comeback then.
Right.
And you're like, damn it.
I know.
That's what I should have said, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
The drugstore called. They're running out of you. Otherwise, you're just like, okay. I mean, that's what I credit that to Stoicism and Buddhism. In the grand scheme of things, the difference is it makes little difference. Like whether you liked it, whether you didn't, okay. Whether you like me, whether you don't, okay. I mean, I would prefer that you did. I prefer you got what you wanted out of something. But like if you don't, okay, sorry. I'm not for everybody.
Right. No, today you'd be proud of me. I got another mean comment on my YouTube, and the guy just said, wow, female comic, so funny. And I just let it roll over me. I
was watching the Boys spinoff, Gen V, and one of the characters is a YouTuber, and they had like a whole montage of like her reading her comments, and I don't know how many times you guys must learn, just don't look at them.
I know. It's just...
Why do you look at the comments? Let's get to that. Why do you look at them? Why do you look at the comments? There's nothing good in there.
On my YouTube shorts, I almost want to make every caption, wow, female comic tries again.
Well, don't do that. They're going to parse back at you.
Then I'm like, I already beat you to it, sir. I beat you to it. I know what you're going to say, asshole.
So you're going to play their game? You're going to live your life on their terms?
I think it's a little funny. I mean, then one other guy, because it's the one I just posted about you, where I call myself a dumb bitch because I don't know who Spider-Gwen is. And the one guy, there was two comments. One guy being like, wow, female comic, hilarious. And then one guy was like, I really liked how aware she was. And part of me was like, is that a compliment? Because I was being silly and self-aware. But he's also like happy that I called myself a dumb bitch, and I don't know if he's just trying to call me that. But I already called myself that, so we're on the same team. So then I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, there's something else going on here. I want to call your dad and smack him in the teeth for whatever he did to you.
You get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I get it. There's a part of you that feels the need to fight back and refresh against people who aren't worth your time. There are people in this life who perform, and there are those who watch. Yeah, but you want to be a human or you want to be a comedian?
All right, anytime you complain about anything, I'm going to just say this to you. You don't complain, but like...
We're getting to the source of the complaint, and anytime I get to a nerve, you throw it back at me. You know why that doesn't bother me?
Shared
I don't
burdens
care.
are lighter.
Our shared burdens are lighter? I don't want us to share any burdens. I want us to share joys and laughs. On three, cock your head back and laugh. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man.
That was good. That almost felt real.
Thank you.
You're a good actor.
I went to clown school, not for the parties.
New bracelets?
One of them is. I got a bunch of new gifts from Indianapolis.
Megan
this is really great. You gonna let me shout it out?
I like her a lot.
I like her too. She's great.
I missed her.
She missed you too. I've always wanted a toy of myself, and now I get to play with myself. And for $69.99, you can too. She really nailed down all
outfit,
the details on this.
Shirt,
the black Spider-Man shirt, the white
ridiculous.
Adidas, the all black, the lightsaber, my charm, my happy-go-lucky attitude on life, my Clark Kent cosplay, and a microphone in the other hand.
I know.
She's just missing my gun. But otherwise, I mean, this was great. I love it says, pop yourself. Don't got to tell me twice. And she signed it, which I always love when people do, because then I can remember who gave it to me.
It's really thoughtful. And your
very
name's
thoughtful.
on it. That's
my
crazy.
My name is on it, too, yeah.
I mean...
Troy Bond! It was really cool. I that's why I say, like, I feel like I'm in a cult when I do meet and greets sometimes, because I'm just standing in line and people are standing in line and they're coming over to take pictures and they're handing me gifts and like, yes, Messiah, give this very good Messiah.
That's what it's all about. It's connecting. People, you connect with them and they connect with you, and this is their way of showing it.
It's
awesome.
It's the best. I didn't do a meet and greet after the first show, obviously.
Was that your first meet and greet you skipped?
Yeah.
I've never seen you skip a meet and greet.
Since we've been on the road in February. That was the first one. It's funny because
we've had tough shows, and the
no, that wasn't tough. That was Oppenheimer level.
I can't believe
destruction.
this, because I've experienced personally some tough shows, and
it was bad. I told you, everybody, I was standing in the back of the green room, and every comic that came back, it looked like I was saluting a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds to go die in Vietnam. And I was like, oh, I guess I got to clean this mess up. And then I cleaned it up in like a George Bush sense, meaning I just created more devastation. Yeah, I did a full hour. That's what sucked. Then every show after that, I did like 5 extra minutes. So by Sunday, I was doing like an hour 20 just to compensate and prove that I knew how to talk for a living. Because I really didn't think I did. I was watching ITT tech commercials, be like, maybe it's time. Maybe I've plateaued. Maybe I've hit the point and it's time to go live a normal, quiet life.
Why are you letting the opinions of others affect you?
Because they paid to see me and we're asking for refunds.
It's bad.
When it happens to me, there's stakes.
That's funny.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it at the time.
You have jokes about it?
I did. I got to look back at the tapes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Refunds? There
was a lot of repeats at this show. There was a lot of people who came to a bunch of different shows in Indianapolis that came to like
That's such a compliment.
Even my mom messaged me being like, I read the Facebook reviews about your show, people asking for refunds. And I was like, was this message supposed to make me feel better?
Who goes on Facebook?
Pedophiles. And that's what I called them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I was bound to have a bad one.
Yeah.
Things been going a little too good for me.
You made it until November.
No, I've had a couple of rough ones. St. Louis was rough. Kansas City was rough.
Oh, those were all the ones I wasn't there.
Couple in Missouri were rough at Springfield.
Yeah.
Couple in one in Naples was rough. One in Miami was rough.
Yeah,
I guess you were at all of those.
That was my first time I ever started sweating out of my armpits profusely. It was in Naples, where I got off stage and I had wet armpits, which I have never experienced. I don't sweat very much, but Naples made me sweat.
It was rough. I mean,
we were all like 80 years old, so.
Well, the first.
I love
What
old
show
people.
was that? The first one?
I'd like to clarify.
Wait, I didn't talk about all the rest of my gifts yet.
Yeah. Do your thing.
I got some shout outs. I have I was rearranging my room. I have this is all like the love letters that fans have written. I got another bracelet. Feels like I'm on like a Can't Live Near School QVC. This one says Pussy Slayer.
No way.
Yeah. It's my favorite Axl Rose song.
Who made you this?
Pussy Slayer! I
That's
think
so
Michaela,
funny.
who also gave me.
Michaela's the best at making bracelets.
She gave me what else? I got a little small Funko Pop. I got Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan.
So funny.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
I need to put this on bonding.
Need to put this on the bonding. Could you focus and record the podcast first? Keep your mind where it belongs, Luke. It's because of your focus like this, men tell you you're not funny. It's a lot more to comedy than just laughs. And one day you'll get those too. And she also gave me the Joker, which is very sweet.
Cute.
Joker, I barely knew her.
So small,
Yes, Beth, so let's talk to Obi-Wan Kenobi, a little boy who brought an underage kid to a bar. You want to... What happened?
Oh, man, it's a pop.
It's a pop. It's a funky pop.
Oh, I didn't know funky pops were a thing.
Yes, Grandpa. Just like Pokemans and the iBop. Yeah! But anyway... Funky pop. People brought you gifts. I got my
really?
my Torey boy. Yes, really. People have brought you gifts before.
Yeah, but did they?
Not to Indianapolis.
I was like, well, where are they?
Not here, because you weren't.
To birth, and I decided to
hold on. That was weird eye contact you just made. I thought you were like going to tell me how I was going to die. I have seen the depths. You will not make it to 30. You will be eaten by deer. Oh my God. Doe, Jane, and Jack.
You're funny. You really, I have to admit.
Funny how? What the fuck is so funny about me, Henry?
To you and everybody here. I already admitted this to you, but I listened to our podcast, the last episode.
Thank God.
Dunce Cap.
You were the one.
On my car ride back to New York on Sunday, and it was so funny.
Thank you.
I know that, like, maybe I'm biased, and I was there, but I was like, you were saying some funny shit.
I think you've learned you're biased, but in the wrong way. You're biased against yourself.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah. What's the nakedest you've been in public?
A bathing suit.
Really?
Yeah.
You never been skinny dipping?
Not that I can remember.
I don't see you going skinny dipping. I can see you being like, oh, it's only for skinny people, guys. Gotta go inside and be a fat cow. You go outside and have fun in the Sevens Lake. I'll be inside with the hard fours. Give me the sprinkles.
What's the most naked you've been in public?
Bear. I've gone skinny dipping.
That's not really public.
Yeah, it was at night in a lake with my homies.
Is that when you're on crack?
No, I was on life, baby. I was high on life. For one period of time in my life, I had a group of guy friends when I was in high school, and he was really his parents had a lot of money, and he took us up to his lake house in Massachusetts, and I did two first. We went skinny dipping, and then I drove a jet ski for the first time.
Those are fun.
And then they were really mad because they didn't know I didn't have a license.
Oh, you need one of those?
You don't need a license to drive a sandwich. I guess to drive a jet ski you do, but the guy, his dad was a cop, so he's extra lame. Stickler.
Sorry.
What is going on with you? Just let it out. I'm at the point now where, like, there's times without fail, every single time at the end of my shows the last couple of weeks, when I get to the car accident story, I start burping at the end.
Really?
And I'm like, an hour 15 on stage for some reason. Yeah, you got to readjust that balance there. Come on, you're comedian. You didn't even say anything. You're so observant, and you didn't even say anything about the new piece of equipment we got.
These mics?
Yeah.
The stands?
They're both new.
Really?
The microphones are new.
Well, we had stands, and then we had these mics.
No, we didn't.
Oh, they were black.
Yeah.
These are nice.
Wow. We just learned Torey does not see color.
Where are the old mics?
They're up in a farm with the rest of the podcast equipment.
You killed them.
I didn't kill them. I just
Why
told them to
would
look at
you
the
do
rabbits. Get this on recorder, George.
Oh, this is nice. But those were
Thank you.
nice. Why'd you do this?
These are nicer.
Really?
Yeah, these are more expensive. And it came with the podcast kit.
Wow.
Yeah. Got to level it up, man.
So
And it's not that you have to level up. I was watching this documentary called How to Be a Mob Boss.
Uh-huh.
And they had this guy.
Is it a master class?
Step one, ask your victim, what do you look like? A, an asshole. B, was born yesterday. Or C, all of the above. An asshole who was born yesterday. That's 101. I actually wrote all these out when I did Wise Guys.
Yeah, those are
That's
quick.
new, though. No, that one I didn't write.
Those in the can.
That one just came out of my head.
So you watched this thing.
And they were talking about Bumpy Frank Johnson. He was the Black Godfather of Harlem in the 60s. And the whole thing then was drug trading and like heroin and the trafficking. Who makes the most money in the drug trade? The middleman, because you have to get that stuff from Vietnam to wherever it gets. They get the poppy seeds there and then they farm it, and then the French Connection. That's what it is, because it goes.
It's a great clothing brand.
Their French Connection and then the U.S. But like it would cost like $10,000 to ship it overseas. So he was like, there's a great movie about this called American Gangster with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. But he basically was like, fuck that. I want to be the middleman and make all the money I can out of it. And he ended up, doing exactly that. He like went into Vietnam, got robbed by bandits, took all the bandits down with like his tour guide, whatever. But he said something in that stuck with me. And he was like, I always put my customers first. Maybe it's because I was 30,000 feet in the air when I was watching this, but I connected his drug trade to what I do for a living. What am I going to skimp on shitty equipment for? Well, my audience has to watch it, so make sure that they have the best top-of-the-line stuff.
Doesn't complain about the sound anymore.
Great.
Sorry, did you want to finish your thought?
No, that was it. What's new with you? How was your weekend? What did you do?
I was home in Maryland for Thanksgiving.
How was your Thanksgiving? Was it
Happy
good?
Thanksgiving, everybody.
What was your favorite dish you ate?
The stuffing was good. You never eat stuffing at other times of the year, so I usually...
Never. Oh, yeah. Stuffing is like turkey. It's not a star, really.
Well, I eat turkey and sandwiches all year round.
Really? I'm not a big turkey guy.
Yeah, I like turkey.
I don't know what it is. I could do chicken. I don't like the turducken. That's too much meat. I don't like two kinds of meat.
There's a lot going on. We had that last year, actually. It was
turducken?
good. Yeah, but the turkey was good this year. Taylor made it, and her husband, Anthony.
I saw George Wallace once at Gotham right before Thanksgiving, and he was like,
did a good job.
You know who George Wallace is? Jerry
Wallace's
Seinfeld's best
uncle.
friend? No. But he had a bit where I saw him at Gotham a few years ago, and he was talking about Thanksgiving turkeys, and he was like, what is it that we just decided to shove it up in his ass? Take something, put it in the turkey, shove it up his ass. Stuffing, shove it up his ass. Go into the refrigerator, go into the little vegetable crisper, grab a couple cucumbers, shove it up his ass.
Is that why they call it stuffing?
Could be.
Because you stuff it into the...
To turkey's ass.
It's a weird name.
Maybe you feel stuffed because it's bread.
Yeah, stuff
Cranberries.
is weird.
I read a lot about cranberries this weekend because that's like
bogs?
the star.
Cranberry bogs are crazy to me.
No, I didn't know about the bogs. What
You
are
didn't know
those?
about the bogs?
No, I just read about the Great Cranberry
You don't
Scare of the
know
60s
about
where they
the
said in the 60s, I was
bogs?
listening to Ocean Spray.
Oh my
You know Ocean
God.
Spray like makes all the cranberry
The
juice and stuff?
brand.
Yeah. And they have had a great, they've always done financially well, except in the 60s, there was a study that came out and said that cranberries are linked to certain types of cancer.
Oh.
And then for years, nobody ate cranberries. Like it was zero.
Who told
Nobody
you
was
this?
buying them. A book I read. And an NPR article.
So you fact check.
You got to get 5 points of information wherever you
wherever
you
got
get
only
anything.
2 right now.
When I watch the news, you know, you've been on the road with me. I
few
watch
times.
CNN, NBC, MSNBC, and Fox just because I like seeing how different sides
Yes, you
interpret
do
stories,
like the
and also
news.
because
That's the only time I watch the news is on the road with you. I'm
I
like,
know.
turn this off.
I know.
What is this trash?
Yeah,
This is making me sad.
It's how you learn how to talk to people.
This is bumming me out, man.
You have to know because like if you're going to places that aren't like the usual bubble that you're in. You got to be like,
That's
okay,
why
well, people actually do. Remember we were in Naples? Somebody was like, you're in Naples, remember? And I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if I'm in Naples. Buckle up and listen to I'm going to tell 10 more
Yeah.
Trump jokes now because we're in Naples.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever, there's one person who's gotten mad at me for my political material, and she made me go viral, and she wasn't even mad at my political material.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking of the girl in Long Island, but she was mad about something else.
Who?
The one that left.
Oh, she was drunk. That was a whole other situation. That was fucking funny. Watching the owner
Oh, yeah.
talk to her, he was like, hey, come here, what are we doing? Hey, all right, listen. Is your wife over here? This is a classy joint. Next time you come here, we leave the dogs at home. And I was like, Jesus Christmas, shots fired. That was
No,
was
he
like,
was crazy. He literally was like,
he
"You
was
don't-
great.
you
I
don't
would go
take
back
that
there
out.
hundreds
You
of
leave
times.
that at home."
Oh my God,
He
it
was awesome.
because the guy was like, yes, sir. It was. I've never seen anything.
He
I was like, oh, that guy's
apologized.
gonna punch him after saying that. And he was like, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Keep that dog on the leash.
Probably bought her a car the next day.
Well, it's embarrassing. I think like there have been times where I have gotten into back and forths with somebody. I have a video that I've been sitting on for a while. This British heckler. I don't know if I'll
No
ever put
problem.
it out because I got into a verbal altercation.
Was that the night you got really mad?
Yeah.
I always thought that'd be a good clip.
Yeah, I don't know. I also don't want to. You got to think like when you put a clip out, what is this doing? Who is this serving, and what's going out into
Right.
the universe? Like when the Kamala Harris video came out, that was really great for me. But there was a 10% of the people who were sharing it and liking it, I knew just liked to see a black woman cry, and I didn't like that as much. So
As much?
well, that's me being facetious.
I'd
But that's
like to
why
clarify for the listeners. He was being
they were
facetious.
cleared about it
Maybe
until
I
you
know
came in like that
you.
much. So that's why I don't really include people's faces in the clips anymore, unless it's something
Yeah.
good. But like I'm not big on what you had to make sure it was there.
I thought it was gonna slide over. There we go. Your
Could you-
shoulders. That's all.
Okay. What else? How was your Thanksgiving? You had a
It's
good
fun.
time with the stuffing and the cranberries.
Yeah.
And then what else?
I just had a nice time at home. Saw some friends. It's nice to go home and connect with people. People were very nice to me about comedy, and what I'm doing with you. That was really cool to be able to talk about the tour that we've been doing this past year. Feeling like I have a sense of an accomplishment. Like you go back to your hometown, and every time you go back, it's kind of a reflection on what your past year has been. And it was kind of a moment in time where I was like, wow, I've actually, I had people come up to me and be like, you're doing cool shit. And I was like, wow, I guess so. And it made me reflect on all the videos. For the first time I sat down and I started foldering all the
I
folders
saw you doing that with the clips.
or videos from our time on the road. And I didn't even realize I would go, where are we? And I kind of knew I did that, but to go back and see 40 videos of us all over the country where I go, where are we? It really cracked me up. I wish I had honestly taken note of that and actually really organized it and made it more of a segment type thing, but I guess it was organic and it was funny, but yeah, home was good. It was a nice moment in time to look back on.
It's nice going back home to have something to be like, well, at least I don't have to live here for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, I do love my hometown, but it's not for me right now, for sure. What was your Thanksgiving? You got a nice delivery.
I did.
You
Slater
got your
gave me a
own-
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
dinner. on Thursday.
That's really sweet.
She was down in Alabama, and she sent me one up.
Where's it from?
I don't know. I just got when we were on the road, I started calling her Small Revere, and at like 4:30 on Thanksgiving. I don't really care about holidays.
What was the story there? Is there
because she's a small person. And she has a small mouth and small hands and small nose, and I'm giant. Oh. And there was like 4 or 5 times I almost killed her by turning around, and I called her Small Revere. That's just one of the cylinders that fired off. Mm-hmm. And then at like 4:30 on Thursday, I got a text saying, Small Revere sent you a gift. And it was really, really funny. And then I don't really give 2 shits about holidays. I don't care about Thanksgiving. I don't care about, I like a good Friendsgiving. I had a good Friendsgiving with Slater and Brent on Tuesday. We watched The Watchmen.
That
and
sounded fun.
We had some Chinese food. And
I had FOMO.
We chilled. We had a good time. You wouldn't have liked it, though. You've been like, well, who's watching The Watchmen?
True.
I had a cat named Snowball. She died. She died. It's you. You're Lisa Simpson. Lisa was my favorite for a lot of years. Lisa was the reason why I went into Buddhism.
Really? Why?
Because she's a Buddhist. She became a Buddhist.
She actively talks about it on the show?
Yes, there's a whole episode dedicated to it.
Why did she need it?
Because she was disillusioned with the church they were going to and thought it was pretty hypocritical and didn't like a lot of its teachings. And she's a Buddhist. I think Carl was a Buddhist too, where he's like, "Oh, mande padme hum." And my dad really liked that episode when I was a kid. And when I was searching for, who am I? Where am I going? That episode of The Simpsons came out because I binge like the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons once a year. It's just the perfect 10 blocks of comedy. And then I go on and I watch a little bit more too. But that episode just happened to come on, and I was watching it like a little kid would watch a astronaut walk through the classroom. And then I downloaded that book, Why Buddhism is True, the one I recommended to you by Robert Wright.
I bought the red and yellow.
Yeah. That book changed my life.
But I own it, and it sits next to me every day on my couch.
Very Buddhist of you.
Osmosis Jones. That's what I'm saying.
That was a weird-ass movie if you think back to it. Like, what are the executives saying? They're like, you know what kids love? Bill Murray live action and Chris Rock as a cartoon. Add to cart.
Yeah, I don't actually.
And then there was a show on Nickelodeon called Ozzy and Drix that was short-lived for a while. There was a lot of great programming in that time period. I thought you were going to blow.
No, I'm just going to wipe.
I was like, all hands on deck. The nostrils are full. Both barrels of the shotgun are going to fire.
No, I wasn't going to blow my nose.
What did you watch when you were a kid?
SpongeBob, Rocket Power.
I didn't like Rocket Power too much when I was a kid, but Hey Arnold is probably, that dealt with some serious subject matter.
Hey Arnold was awesome.
The best.
I want to go back and watch that.
It's a rough one to watch as an adult. I did that last summer. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of heavy episodes. There's an episode where like...
It's his grandparents are so old and his parents died.
They take him in. There's an episode with Mr. Kim. There's an episode where a gay guy moves into the building and the rest of them don't really like it. Like, there's a lot of heavy stuff in there. I think I might have been too young to appreciate Hey Arnold when I was a kid. It's one where, like, I watch SpongeBob religiously, and that's one where, like, every time you watch it, it gets so much funnier. Especially, like, the first 3 seasons of that one. Yeah. Because it's perfect. Season 4 is pretty good, too. There's some. I don't know if it's good or if I'm just nostalgic for it because I was growing up. I grew up with SpongeBob.
Same.
Truly. Like,
I think that's why we get along so well. It's, like, embedded in our subconscious.
Yeah. I think
how we, like, comically.
It framed our generation's sense of humor almost because SpongeBob wasn't a show that talked down to kids. It was a show that knew it was for kids, but also knew that the adults were watching too. Totally. Like, that was a show. My dad is a big kid. That's how I got into all this stuff. But my dad would sit down and we would laugh at SpongeBob together. I mean, and SpongeBob was just a clone of Rocko's Modern Life. It's the same exact show. It's one with the Australian. Hey, Hiff. Oh, hi, Rocko. He was the big old fat cow. It's the same old show, just with a sponge and a star.
I watched Cat Dog. Pinky
Alone in the world, little cat dog. Gee, Brain, what are we going to do tonight?
Same
thing we do every night, Pinky. Try and take over the world.
Secret World of Alex Mack. That's a real throwback. Did you ever see that?
The hell is that? No. Secret World of Alex Mack.
Yeah.
What he have going on? He was a closeted fella? Oh.
All I remember was that they would turn into metallic puddles and then seep under door frames, and then they could shapeshift into, like, guinea pigs and stuff.
So they were all oil spills that came to life.
Yeah. It was really
interesting. That was the Secret Life.
Yeah.
Sounds a little like Animorphs. Remember Animorphs?
Yes.
Those were...
yes. Power Rangers.
Animorphs was a book.
I know, but it's all coming to me now.
Oh, good.
I'm just like...
No, it's all coming back.
Like That's So Raven, like a moment, like a...
I never watched
I loved That's So Raven.
I wasn't big on the Disney Channel.
I
I didn't catch a
Even
lot of
Stevens?
it. No, I didn't see a lot of that either. I
You
saw
didn't
the
watch
movie.
any of it?
I liked Holes. Shy and Holes
Great.
was really big. I mean, that was the
Great.
first book I ever read cover to cover.
Okay.
I was like
I think
12.
I actually did read that one.
And then my dad made me read the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe books a few years earlier than that.
Everyone
But
was reading those.
I did not retain any of the information. I loved the play. He directed the play when I was a kid, and I was I think that's when I became a student of the
Actor?
theater. No, he directed 3 plays when I was a kid. He was a middle school.
Your dad?
Yeah,
What
he went
the
to school for
hell?
theater.
Your dad's done everything.
I know,
Your
it's
dad,
insane.
You are like
Except
your
apparently
dad
correctly.
and excelling in all areas that he like wanted to.
I know.
Mine
That's
is
why we
fighting.
didn't talk for 5 years.
You didn't fight
Who?
later in life,
Who? Me and my
You.
dad?
like karate.
Right.
Like you did the acting.
Yeah.
the-
Well, I did
comedy.
karate for 17 years. That was
Yeah.
enough. You know.
yeah.
I would do like a women's self-defense class or like a beginner
We
self-defense
talked
class.
about this at nauseam.
But the
I'm
thing
just
is
ready
I don't know
for
if I don't want to be responsible for it and be like, if somebody's in the hospital, I got to go pay my respects to a victim in the hospital. Like, what the fuck, man? You karate didn't work. I don't want that on my conscience.
If you taught them, then it's just because they didn't do what you taught them.
I'm not going to say that to somebody when they're on their hospital
Yeah,
bed.
like you didn't do it
Be
right.
like, you must have skipped a step, buddy.
That's what I'm
Anyway,
saying.
here's some
I
flowers.
think you should. I want the self-defense. I need it.
I was teaching it to
After
Slater
that
the
spit
other
in the
night.
face.
She was a pretty good student. I taught her how to do the Japanese headlock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it
she's
work?
got. I told her to use her body weight, and then she was really choking me.
Wow.
I showed her some Aikido stuff. She was doing a good job.
All right.
But like I know it from muscle memory, just as I did it my whole life. I don't know how practical it is. I feel safe when I walk around the city, but not because of my any kind of training I had. I just feel like I could talk
You're
my way
tall
out of a
And
confrontation.
a man. As a smaller woman, it's not the same.
Yeah, but bottles are pretty indiscriminate, and so are
Male
crackheads.
privilege over here.
Yeah, what can I say?
Is
I've
that a
got it
thing?
all going for me.
Is that a term?
Yes, we live in a. Yeah,
I've never
it's
heard anyone say
why there
male-
have been no women presidents, Torey.
Male privilege.
Yeah.
Your thing is like glowing.
Because my PlayStation is.
I was
off.
like, why is it glowing?
It's a mood. Han Solo carbonite.
Yeah, sorry, those listening.
It's a mood thing.
It's a heart, yeah.
My room is like a room of arts and crafts. That Batman costume's almost done, and I spray
That
painted
can't
that.
fall on your head, can it?
No, it's Velcroed to that brick wall, and it's almost like on the floor.
All right, just after your TV thing, I just get worried.
Yeah. At this point, I kind of wish it would crush me just so I could die underneath somebody.
Okay.
Have you lonely as I've been?
I'm not ever lonely.
Really?
I'm never lonely. I love being alone.
Me too. Sometimes you miss the company of I sometimes I miss. I pulled a U in the hotel in Indianapolis. I spooned my pillow. I grabbed it. I was like, why can't I fall asleep? And then I just grabbed the pillow, and I was like, oh, this feels pretty good.
It's nice, right?
I was out. I fell asleep
I
watching
didn't know I
YouTube
did
TV.
it on the road with you.
Yeah,
Really?
a few times.
It's
And
my
there have also been
favorite.
times where I've gone out to smoke, come back, and Tori's gripping the pillow, just going, "Oh, I love you, Nick Jonas."
Yeah, well, I have 4 pillows in my bed right now, and I put 2 on each side of me, and I hold them.
Just a pillow slut.
Yeah, babe.
I don't like too many pillows. I like one pillow. Everything else, I feel like I gotta, like my body becomes like a geometry equation. I
I
gotta
like being
worry about
surrounded.
raping. I don't. I like
I'm
isolation.
glad my little pillow trick helped you.
It did. And then I was like, it helped me not text a bunch of dates that I was probably going to flake on.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the thing. I miss the physicalness, but like I also like, I just want that, and I don't want to do all the other
Yeah.
stuff, and I would feel like an asshole
So you fucked the pillow.
several times. I ran out of pillows. I had to keep sending them up. I was sending them out stuffed, and they were sending them back
You
stuffed.
use it differently than I do. I'm more of a cuddler.
I was at first too. The pillow was asking for it. He said, "Take off my case." I just went.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
a
well, it sounds like you had a
Tempur-Pedic.
good time then.
Temper pelvis. I didn't. That's why I had to resort to dry humping a pillow.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hump a pillow. I humped myself.
Nice.
I put the pillow down, and then I made my hand in the shape of a hole. And
I
then
was going to say sorry I wasn't there, but that's outside of the context of the pillows. So I want to clarify.
thank you. We are not inside of each other at any times. We are beside each
Never.
other. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah. But I'm
Even our
sorry,
legs
you-
are crossed differently because
Oh,
we want our
lovely.
genitals flying into each other.
It's true. There's a whole wall here. You can't even see it.
You can't see it. It's called the Wall of Plutonacy.
It's a good wall.
Got it from Home Depot. What do you want to talk
I'm
about?
trying to think of a word for that. Well, I don't know.
Derek Chauvin got stabbed in prison. Did you see that? The guy who killed George Floyd.
Oh, good.
He got stabbed. He's not going to make it. He's going to die in prison. He
Oh.
got stabbed in his freshman year of prison, man.
What? A toothbrush?
I don't know. Hopefully something really pointy. He got stabbed in the stomach, and then he had to get... I wish they twisted it. Went in over. I wish they went in one in the stomach and one in his urethra.
I'm not
and then just come... I know.
He didn't deserve
Stop clarifying. They know. You want to punch something? Punch to my hand as hard as you can.
I was going to do it to you, and then it wouldn't have been fun if
Go ahead. Punch my hand.
No, I'm good.
Punch it. Punch it.
I don't want
Punch
to.
it.
I already got my cracks out.
Okay. Kick it?
No.
Sit on its face? High five?
No, the wall.
The wall. That's right. Yeah.
I'll hurt myself if I try to punch
yeah,
the wall.
can't even.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me what happened to my finger when I was doing the Q&A, and I told the whole story and made it like a 4-minute bit. That might be a new staple.
Really?
Yeah, I incorporated the infantilize and everything.
Really?
Yeah, it did well in Indianapolis.
It's almost like I was there.
It was, yeah.
Should you tell the people I want to hear about this? This is fun.
It'll be on the special.
Yeah, but really?
Or it'll be on YouTube with the black finger. I don't know.
Did you say my name?
Yes.
Oh, infantilize.
You've had so little love growing up. I'm so. I give you like half an inch, and you're like, "Oh, Master has given Dobby a sock."
You just haven't given me enough love, so when I get any, I get.
No, I've just given you a camera, 10,000 on Instagram, and a bunch of bracelets, and notoriety.
I'd be nothing without you.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. Keep going.
The wall was
one transgression, 10 more need. I need 10 more payback. You're on 9.
I love you. I'm so grateful.
Something that sounds like there's not a gun to your head.
I was trying to make a Dobby joke. Like, I need a sock.
I did that already.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah, he got stabbed in prison. Yeah.
I want to hear the story.
It'll be on YouTube. I can't burn through it on the podcast.
Fine.
You'll see it. Someone
it's
asked.
It's really different, though. Only, like...
I know, but they're going to see it on YouTube, and they're going to listen to the podcast, and I don't want to give them 2 things.
And I love you for that.
Yeah, and one of my people asked me the question when we were live.
Oh, really? Cute.
I'm assuming they were there to see me.
Yeah, fair. Wait, are you going to release the other 4 episodes of Secret Identity?
Starting Sunday.
Did the 1? I thought you were going to drop 5 at once.
I have a plan.
Just giving you guys a shout out on the bonding pod.
Thank you. Sounds so fucking enthusiastic to do it. Yeah, what are the other books we're talking about?
I don't know.
If you had to guess, what would they be?
Books?
Yeah. That's what we're reviewing. They're books.
You said The Watchmen was a book?
It's a book. That's one of them.
And it's like Marvel? Is it all
and DC.
Marvel and Umbrella?
Comic books, Marvel, DC.
The Avengers, is that a book?
It's a superhero team. There's no book called The Avengers.
Really?
Yeah. Be like The Avengers.
Can I get a hint?
They're all basic superheroes.
So Batman.
We did Batman: The Long Halloween. That's coming out this Sunday.
Spider-Man.
Craven's Last Hunt.
Robin.
No.
He doesn't get his own story?
Not yet. I'm looking for a good Robin one. Good Robin story. There is a good Robin story called Death in the Family where the Joker killed Batman's Robin with a crowbar. And it was in the 80s. It was really weird. Like, it ends with, like, the Joker being the UN ambassador to Iran. So weird. And, like, Superman comes in and, like, flies around the world and reverses time. Comics got really strange at that point. So we've mainly just been, like, I was like, here are the 5 books that I want to do. And Brent was like, yeah, of course. That's awesome, dude. And then he recommended a couple that we're going to do. We're going to do Scott Pilgrim. He's read them all. He read the first one we did was Craven's Last Hunt, and we did that one because I did that. The reason why I did that one was because when I moved into here, I had my Spider-Man windbreaker jacket, and then I was ready to go to Florida, and I was very depressed, and I was having a really bad day, and I walked in, and Brent was like, Todd McFarlane, 1991, and I almost kissed him on the lips because it was just so nice to be seen. And then like a week later, I was like, we should do a podcast about comic books, and then we decided on Craven's Last Hunt because that was the first thing that brought us together. But I don't know, it's different kind of chemistry. Slater's on the episodes now. She did the Watchmen one. I think we're going to incorporate her in the every. It's nice having, because she knows a little bit about all of them, but not a lot of it. Like when we did the Watchmen one, she read up to the end. She didn't know the end. So when we're doing the ending, I'm sitting across from her and I'm watching her like read it on Wikipedia, the ending, and I'm just seeing her jaw like increasingly open. That was really fun to see. And she's going to be in charge of the soundboard. She loves Rachel.
You add a personal noise to the soundboard.
Working on it. Yeah, I'm working on putting some sounds in there. Different, like it's going to be episode dependent. So like if we're doing a Batman book, Rachel will probably be a staple one in there. Brent does a great Christopher Walken, so like some of his onomatopoeia is going to be there. Pow, ow.
He loves that.
It's so good. And it's fun to just have that thing and compartmentalize it into that. So like people listening to this don't have to hear me shove Batman facts down their ears anymore, and they can go over to Secret Identity.
Right.
But there's it's fun. I enjoy podcasting. I think the equipment plays a big part in it too, and I love to talk, and I love talking to people who I love and I'm very interested in. It a lot of the time feels like, what am I doing this for? There's so many podcasts out there, but like
I get
you never know what's going to stick to the wall.
People like spending this time with us.
I like spending that time with these people. Whenever I'm doing this podcast, I'm always trying to think, okay, what can I do or give or say to them that's different in this form than it is how they absorb my stand-up clips, how they absorb everything else. What's different here that I can give to them? And it's the same reason why the late night talk show died, because nobody wants an 11-minute conversation perfectly tailored to sell soap. Yeah. They want a 3.5 hour Joe Rogan unfiltered conversation where you talk about Bigfoot, fucking a glory hole, or aliens bringing down Asperger's, right? Like it's and people like that, or people have something to rage against the machine toward. But I've always enjoyed talking. I learned at a young age, as Jeff Winger said, if I talk long enough, you can get whatever you wanted. And that sounds manipulative until you learn. Talking is about listening more than talking.
Right. And people will just like give up eventually, like, okay, shut up.
My mom did. I had a cape when I was a kid, like a cosplay cape, and it had a hood, and me and my brother would always, play fight with each other, and I loved that cape. And then I was also a really bad student, and my mom took the cape away one year, and I wrote her like a 3-page letter pleading to get the cape back. And I told her all these things I was going to do if she gave me the cape back, and then she like kicked my door down at like 10 o'clock at night. And she was just like, you just want the fucking cape back, and then threw the pieces of paper back at me. And then this was like a week before Thanksgiving, and I prayed every day from Wednesday to Thursday, 8 days of prayer, that the wishbone, I would get the big end of the stick, because I thought I would get the big end, and then I could wish for a hoverboard and fly away and run away from home. No, I never got the wishbone. I never got to break it.
So
I was
sad.
really stupid. I thought like in 3rd grade that like if I broke the wishbone apart, I could wish for a hoverboard and then just go get a new life somewhere.
That's so sad.
At 10, I thought that. No wonder. And then one time my dad was like, your grades have been really bad, but your mother and I think you might be special ed. And that was a hard thing
My
to
parents
hear.
thought I was stupid
Because every time I looked in the mirror, I'd be like, do I have Down syndrome? I really thought that, because like my dad would go DJ Special Olympics events. And so he'd be like, there was like a guy, let's just say his name was Jimmy. And there was a guy named Jimmy who was like in a wheelchair, and he wasn't verbal, and like but he was like very happy. And those guys, to DJ an event for the Special Olympics, my dad would just put on, now that's what I call music 21, and they would love it. Yeah. But my dad brought me to an event, and he'd be like, yeah, your mother and I think you're like Jimmy over there. And I would like see him like singing, strumming my pain with his finger. And Jimmy was never right on count. He'd be like, 3 times, 1 time. And for like 2 years, I thought that was me. And then that's why I value education now. It's not that I value education. I value reading now, because
well, because you're
I thought I was
savant.
I thought I wasn't intelligent, and I still don't think I am, but like I just didn't like reading what they would make you read.
Right.
And once I started reading stuff that I liked, like reading Holes, I really enjoyed it. And then I realized, I really like picking up something and staring at it as long as I would stare at a TV screen for it. The only difference is I fall asleep if I read
reading puts
too
me to
much.
bed.
It puts me to bed. I don't know why I could stare at the TV for hours and not go to sleep,
It's
but like
chemical thing in your brain.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think airplane coffee makes you fall asleep too, because I've flown like 3 times this week. Every time I've had a coffee on an American Airlines flight, I have gone to sleep.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is. And I drink the coffee so I could be productive when I'm in the air, because you're in the airplane. You're thinking, nobody can get to me. I'm going to edit clips. I hate editing clips now on planes, because 2 things happen. One, somebody be like, they're like, oh my, are you that comedian? And I'm like, yeah, which is nice. That's fine. But the other thing is, like, I hate when people are watching me edit my clips, because it's the same. Look at me, I look like Mr. Robot. I'm like, no, it's not even that. I'm like trying to shield it, and they just like keep looking over, and I'm like typing out the word pussy.
Unalive.
Unalive, yeah. which is so, I hate the censorship on the internet. I don't know when we became such fucking Puritans. I understand why they did it because there's so many kids on TikTok, but that's not my fucking problem. Like, if you're going to censor me for saying unalive, then you got to censor some of these lyrics for some of the shit that they say in these music. And I don't want to sound like a boomer, but I mean, Jesus Christmas. I watched beheading videos as a kid, so I think there should be some censorship, and I should have never found that.
That's what we're getting right now on the internet with some of this stuff.
I don't know why. I'll get flagged for saying suicide attempt.
Right, but then I will see like dead bodies with zip ties on their wrists.
I was watching this thing on HBO Max yesterday, and it was like the first 5 minutes of this documentary called "The God is Woman" or "Woman God" or something. It's like this cult, and it showed like the police body camera, and like they lifted up. She was like in her bed, and they lifted up the veil, and it was her corpse in the bed. Like, and I was
real corpse.
Yeah, it was her real, and I was like, you can show that on TV? And I was eating too? Oh, it was rough. And this is coming from somebody who's watched the Zapruder film hundreds of times.
When it's real, it's really jarring.
Why does that bother me, but not the JFK tape?
It's a little blurry.
It's very graphic, though. You could see all of it.
I mean, it's feet of whatever.
It's what?
Like a foot of brain.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't even go the direction that they said it came from. Who do you think killed JFK?
It was an inside job.
From who?
You can't shoot from that far.
That's what I'm saying. Lee Harvey Oswald couldn't have made that shot from that far.
I mean, he was in the military, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he came back home and he went to Russia and then came back here and nobody talked to him in the 60s when we're all worried about communists, and he's handing out pro-Castro material in Dallas, and he orders his gun through the mail. Then he gets it, and there's one the theory still is one bullet went through JFK's head, because he got shot twice. The first time he got shot and it went through the throat, and you can see in the video he's trying to bend down, but he can't because he had a really bad back, and he's wearing a back brace, and he's trying to bend down and he can't. And that second shot, boom, one of them. They say one bullet went through the governor's arm in the front seat, through his leg, up JFK's head. That did not happen. There was more than one shooter, and there's still another angle of the footage that we know is out there that we have not seen to this day.
That's nuts.
And I think there's three possible things of what could have happened. One, the CIA did it all on their own because he was talking about how he wanted to break up the CIA because he felt that they were trying to screw him after the Bay of Pigs, and that he didn't have any friends or confidants, and so the CIA could have done it. Could have been the money people because he talked about the Federal Reserve being evil. They could have coupled with the CIA. Could have also been the mob. The mob really had a reason to kill him too.
They liked Marilyn Monroe, right?
Well, no, that wasn't the story.
Jealous.
The story with Marilyn Monroe is JFK was dating Sam Giancana's girlfriend, who was a mob boss, and Bobby Kennedy, his brother, was the attorney general, and was like, Jack, you're fucking Sam Giancana. I'm investigating all of him for organized crime. And they hated Bobby Kennedy because the mob got JFK elected. His father paid the mob to go and rig the election polls, and that's why it was such a narrow margin. And then in The Irishman, De Niro is like, so the mob helps him get elected, right? And then he puts, what does he do? Huh? What does he do? He puts his piece of shit pissant brother in there as attorney general. I mean, what's all that about? And Bobby Kennedy hated Jimmy Hoffa, who was the head of the Teamsters Union, like the trucks.
Yes.
And Jimmy Hoffa, like they never found his body. He went missing. You ever hear like the joke is like, I found Jimmy Hoffa, like, because they've never found him. Because the mob never fessed up to what they're doing. The Irishman apparently was a tall tale and a lie. But there was a line in The Irishman where after JFK they're going to take out Jimmy Hoffa, and Joe Pesci's like, if they could kill a president, they could kill president of the union. And the mob wanted their casinos back in Havana. And so they figured by partnering with the CIA, that's where the second shooter could have been. You know, and then the fact that Oswald dies 3 days later and he's shot by Jack Ruby, who had mob ties. And then Jack Ruby went insane years later, and they say he was a victim of MK Ultra, which is it's like that CIA program that tests out acid and mind control on people. He went crazy in custody.
Mind control? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
There's a whole rabbit hole you could go down there. It's insane.
I don't think I'm ready for it.
It's crazy, but the thing is, we'll never know. Like it's you believe what you want to believe. Right? If you want to believe the CIA killed him, you believe that. If you want to believe the mob killed him, you believe that. We'll never know. It's like the same thing with RFK. I don't think that shooter.
COVID, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that came from a lab in Wuhan, China, without a doubt.
No bats.
Jon Stewart put it perfectly when he was on Colbert. He was like, "This disease was exposed down the street from the Wuhan Center of Virology. Virology, whatever it is.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah, it was a lab leak. Yeah, it came. I don't think it was intentional. No, because look how much it embarrassed China.
Yeah.
It came out of China. Now, the thing that's wrong and where Trump stoked the flames of this anti-Asian discrimination was when he started calling it the Kung flu, and he was making it seem like everybody, all these Chinese people were knowingly infecting people with COVID, which was not happening at all. Well, because you could pin it to that, but again, we still don't know. And I'm speculating by saying it was a lab. It just makes most sense to me that it would have come out of a lab because people have been eating at those wet markets for centuries.
True.
And it was first it was a bat, then it was a pangolin, and now there's flu happening in China right now, just like there was during COVID. But like they have had their borders shut for so long, and now they've opened it again. So of course they're going to have an unknown illness because all these COVID variants are coupling together right now, and it's getting their population sick. The scary thing is what COVID infections actually do. Like long COVID is some serious shit, and people misunderstand what long COVID is and like they say 1 in 10 infections result in long COVID. That means if you're on your 3rd infection, you're 7 away from it possibly having severe side effects from you for the rest of your life.
I don't feel good right now.
It's a scary world we live in.
My chest hurts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also cold and flu season too. Hopefully, if there is a new disease, you get it before.
During all that COVID
I was never
stuff.
going to die. Cold and flu? Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
That time when I went to the ER, I've never gone to the ER is for drama queens.
When did you go to the ER?
October 2021. We knew each other. Remember, I dropped off.
Did I know about this?
Yeah, you were nice about it. You checked in on me.
Oh, good.
I came back to Broadway after, and I had a set, and it was pretty bad. Anyways, I remember. Really rocked. I had a severe migraine, and I couldn't eat anything for like a week. I kept throwing up. They thought I had meningitis. They did a spinal tap on me, and then I spent the night in the ER.
Damn, it was like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had a IV in the whole night, and I didn't care. I slept like this with the thing, just like I just didn't care. But I wanted to be, you know me. I like to.
You didn't have any pillows to hump.
I had no pillows, so I went, and I remember going like this and not even caring that the IV.
That's one thing that stays in my head. A criticism that I used to say pillows when I was a kid, and my dad would make fun of me for it.
Hello.
Go upstairs and get a pillow, TJ. He also would do a voice for me that wasn't my voice, and it made me very self-conscious about what my voice sounded like.
What was the voice?
It was like very like, oh, it was like Patrick Starr almost. Hello. And I was like, that's not what I sound like. And then like I would, my mom one year for Christmas got us like, 'cause I was obsessed with making tapes when I learned how you could do that. And I would record like the radio and dub it back over. And then she got us a little stereo with a microphone on it. So I would like record commentary for watching movies and stuff. I would watch like Star Wars movies and it'd be like the end, and Darth Vader's TIE fighter would fly out and be like, that's why we call him Butt Vader. Go back, play it back, listen, be like, all right, that's good. The listener's going to love that. The first time I remember performing was watching Nutty Professor, and it was the Dave Chappelle scene where he was like doing all the roast comedy, and I had a mic, and I was just doing all his lines that he was, and like using the mannerisms and everything.
That's funny.
Screwed me up.
How old were you?
Probably 4 or 5.
I
had an appreciation for comedy at a young age. My parents didn't talk to me like babies.
You're making me be like, what? Who am I? What have I wanted all along?
I'm not saying it was right. I mean, I'm so lucky that it worked out.
No, Mac Miller was playing the drums on at 2 on, it's like it's in people. And I'm like, well, was I like that?
So they say some people are born with greatness. Some people have greatness thrust upon them, and then there's a third greatness.
Thank God
you
I
had
found
greatness
you.
thrust upon you.
Well, where would I be without you?
You'd be giving out handy J's at the bottom of the ocean.
Just cuddling pillows.
Feels like sandpaper. What did you were born with the gift of riding horses. You had a horse passion.
I did. And I did ride horses, but I don't think that was like...
Do you trust horses?
I rode at like age 3. Yeah, I love them. I love horses.
I don't trust them. I don't like what they stand for. Very shady. You never were worried that one was going to just Christopher Reeve you?
I mean, I fell off a lot. I think that's why I am the way I am. I had a lot of concussions. One time I fell asleep and vomited everywhere.
You fell asleep on the horse?
I fell off.
After the horse threw you.
I made my mom stop at my grandmother's house. I took a long nap, and then I vomited everywhere.
Unrelated. Can I tell you a funny story?
2 years later, someone was like, that was a severe concussion. Go ahead.
You said grandmother and a trigger. I've been thinking about my grandmother a lot lately.
So you're like,
I guess I've been missing her.
Story. I'm sorry you've been missing
Are you done
grandma.
with the story?
Yeah, sure.
You can tell me the rest of it.
It's done. That's why I'm retired.
That's gonna get cut.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, it's not with your mouth. My grandmother and I were really, really tight. It was the first phone number I ever memorized. I was like 3 years old, and it's 879-3034. And she had me call. The first ever call I made was to my grandfather, and I called her every single day from the time I learned that number to the day she passed. It's really sweet. When I was like 3 years old, I was young. My mom is going to hate me for telling this story because she hates this story. But I was home, and I was a kid, and I was hungry, and my mom was sleeping, and nobody was around to make food. So I called my grandmother, and apparently I was like, Mama, I haven't eaten in days. Like, could you please bring me over some food? And half hour later, she was in the backyard feeding me McDonald's. Aww. She spoon-fed me peaches till I was 17. And the day I was thinking about her because it's Thanksgiving weekend. That was the last time I saw her, 2013. I used to go to her house on Wednesdays and help her make the food because she made, Thanksgiving with black families is, you will get nothing better in your life. You'll never have another meal. The only thing comparable I've ever experienced was Thanksgiving with Italians. Okay. Like as far as like food and.
When was that?
I did it 2 years, 2021 and 2022. I don't want to say, but you can probably infer.
Okay, you say everyone else's name.
Voldemort. It was Voldemort's family.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the other Italian in our lives.
No. Joey? Yeah. No. He's invited me a bunch, but like, I haven't been yet.
Sorry.
But like the Italians do like 7-8 courses, and my grandmother started cooking on Tuesdays. Yeah. And then I'd be over Wednesdays. I would read Michael Jackson's autobiography every year, Moonwalk. And then I would read and then help her cook. And this last year was 2013. And she had been in the hospital a bunch for like 2 years prior to that. Yeah. Was just really sick. And when my uncle passed, that took a huge toll on her. And she stopped smoking after he died. And my mom says that's why she died. Because, she smoked since she was 13. And then she quits 2 years later and she's gone. I'm like, Mom, please stop smoking maybe. But again, you believe what you want to believe, right? So anyway, grandmother's story. This is Thanksgiving 2013. The day after, she realized she didn't make cheesecake. She really wanted to make the cheesecake. And I was like, we have so much food in the fridge, Mama. We don't need to make a cheesecake. But my uncle really loved the cheesecake, so I think she wanted to do that. She knew how tight I was with my uncle. Him and I kind of looked alike, I'm sure.
Did she make him cheesecakes?
She made him everything. He was a spoiled baby.
A real connection.
Yeah, it was. And she knew how tight we were. And not too many people in the family liked him other than me and her. So we had that connection going for us, too. And I think she knew about the drugs I was on. I wasn't at that time, but I think she knew and connected the dots. So anyway, she's hell-bent on making this cheesecake, right? So she's not supposed to drive. She's very frail, very sick. And then all day I'm like, Mama, we're not going to get cheesecake. She's increasingly putting on another article of clothing because she's determined to go out.
She's going to buy the ingredients?
She's going to buy the ingredients. No, she's not going to buy the whole cheesecake. She's determined to buy the cheesecake. So there's 2 floors to my grandmother's house. I'm upstairs most of the day, and so is she. But then I go downstairs to go check something, and I see her sitting by the front door with her shoes on, with her old lady shawl on, getting ready to go out and put her keys in her powder blue Oldsmobile. And I was like, there's no deterring this woman. I'm going to have to go with her. And she wanted to drive to the store that was down the hill from her house. 5-minute drive, but it's a very steep hill. And my grandmother was not in the condition to drive. But I figured, let's roll the dice. Let's get in the car. Whatever. Let's go. Get to the grocery store, get all the ingredients, get whatever. Then she realizes she left her
wallet
at the house. So we have to go back up the hill.
No.
Get her wallet, come back down. Then she realizes
they hold all the ingredients.
They held it all by the thing. This is Black Friday. We get back to the store. She realizes she doesn't have her card or any cash. So then we go back up to the house a second time.
An empty wallet is what she grabbed?
She had her checkbook, and she was like, I can't pay with checks. And we get to the back. It was like kind of what you and I had in Salt Lake City, where I was like, yes, you can do that. And she was like, you can't pay with checks. And I was like, yes, you can, Mama. Then we go back to the store, and she pays with a check. And she was like, you know what? I don't know why I thought I couldn't pay with checks, but I guess I could. Then we get all the ingredients out, and she has this. The tub of sour cream falls out on the floor and just goes all over the grocery store floor. And I push her out at this point. I'm like, we're going back. Just leave it. Leave it. We'll make it without the cheesecake. She makes the cheesecake. She forgets to put in some kind of pan, and it all disintegrates at the bottom of the oven. And I was like, this cheesecake was doomed from the start, Mama. And she still gave me a piece of it to wrap up. And
did you eat it?
I ate it that night, and that was the last time I saw her. And I'm glad, because it was very much, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. She was really my best friend. She was my rock. I loved her to death, and our relationship was very much like that, where if I needed anything, she was there. If she needed anything, I was there. And I think about her every day. I think about all my grandparents every day, but her especially. She was something really sweet. I mean, she was the only one of two people I've seen in my whole life back my father up without putting a hand on him. My dad was coming to beat my ass one time in the house, and she just stuck his finger in his face and went, "You're not hitting my grandbaby in my house." And spoon-fed me peaches in front of him. Then I got my ass beat in the car. And at least it didn't happen in the home. And I miss her. Irma Juanita Bond. They called her Kitty because she was afraid of cats, and everyone was not considerate of it. She was a sweetheart. I love her to death. I miss her.
Shout out Irma.
Grandparents are, you don't know how lucky you are to have them as a kid. And it's something, I mean, I was lucky to have mine, and I have a very close relationship with all four of mine.
Yeah.
And my great-grandmother's still alive. Muriel Blaze,
amazing.
she lives in West Day. You know, she's drinking a bottle of wine a day. She survived her daughter's passing a couple of years ago. Still killing it. I got a strong family. I mean, they're all either mentally or physically rotten, but they got good hearts.
Not all.
Everyone, yeah. Everyone's a little touched in their own ways.
I think Jack's perfect.
Yes, he is. He just crashed his car. So he's touched in the automobile sense. Oh. Do I think what? My youngest brother, Jack, is what? That's my baby. I mean, like, that was... I do think... I was 8 when he was born. I was saying,
do you think he was protected by you from the touch?
Oh, yeah. No one could...
That's why I think he's so perfect, because the role model you were to him. And
you think so?
Yeah.
I was just very...
Again, I haven't spent a lot of time with him, but the time I have spent, I really think he's an amazing person.
I don't know if I could take credit for it, because like we all grew up in the karate school, and Logan and I often got our asses beat for not having all of our equipment. And Jack, I mean, like we wouldn't have the cup to go in our jock strap, or we wouldn't have our mouthpiece, or we'd be missing a left glove, or Logan would have both his boots, but they'd both be left boots, and be like, how the hell did that happen? Jack never had a problem with any of that, because I think he saw and heard the ass whoopings and was like, that ain't gonna happen to me, dog. And
the youngest are often, they see all the mistakes, and they're old souls because they witness.
They
all
are,
that.
and I was really worried about him for years, because Logan and I are close in age, and we've always been like brothers. You know, like obviously we're brothers, but we've been like brothers. Right, I mean, inseparable. Jack is 8 years younger than I am, 5 years younger than Logan, so there was a little bit of a gap. He will be 20 in February. Okay. And I was always worried that he would be, feel lonely or isolated, but truly, like, he's really no different than what I was. Like, I spent most of my time by myself writing plays and doing all this creative, weird stuff growing up. And Logan was out with his friends. Jack was a loner like me, and he is going to build an incredible life out of it.
He wants to be a psychologist who's very in tune with emotion.
Wouldn't you, after coming from that bloodline?
Yeah. No,
Jesus Christmas. He's like, we have to do something to fix this or figure out what is wrong.
Right. Well, it's so funny, whoever made that comment where they're like, we need to study your family. Cause it's like,
Lori Kilmartin.
You're a comic, your brother's a fighter, and then he's a therapist.
Yeah, Lori Kilmartin said your parents need to be studied.
Yeah. So funny.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I think all of that was, of course it was going to happen. Like, of course I was going to be a comic. Of course my brother was going to be a fighter. Of course my other one was going to be a psychologist. Like, it's like watching someone who has success show that talent when they were a kid. Like, of course they were going to fall into that.
Born who
and also, like, I look at my parents sometimes, I'm like, well, what other fucking choice did they have with you guys as parents?
Yeah.
I mean, my parents were great. I learned as I got older that your parents are not gods that you think they are growing up. They are just people who did not pull out, and somehow they kept you alive. I survived 100% of my bad days growing up. And I'm grateful that they gave me the tools that they did to get me to where I am now. Sorry, I know you got to go. Yeah. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Give us some parting words, T. Cole.
Sorry we were gone for so long, but we love you dearly, and we are so grateful.
Jesus Christ, don't listen to her. I'm not sorry we were gone so long. I was out making us money for the family. I know, but you don't have to throw me into it. Sorry we were gone for so long. I've been pulling all the weight for years. I wasn't funny
in the last episode, so that's my bad.
Yeah. You know what? Go read some YouTube comments. Subscribe. We actually are almost at 3,000.
'Cause we like to party.
Set the scene. 3,000 degrees. Ain't worried about Torey Cole, but damn, she worried about me. Torey Feldman.
You hear my shoulder crack?
I did. God. 31
I was
almost.
just going to say the effects of getting older.
No more queefs, all cracks. That's the Torey Cole guarantee. That and scratchy hand jobs. And now we're going to play off some from a cut from Torey's latest album.
Whee!
We'll do it live. Fuck it.